Men, do not talk to women the way you talk to men. They will hate it and you will be frustrated. Let's get into it. Well, you have men. You get 100 Amish guys together and they communicate to do the very next task. Men communicate for information. It's simple data transfer. Point A to point B. Now, with women, it doesn't quite work that way. They kind of talk a little bit in circles. And the purpose is not to do data transfer, it's for connection. It's a completely different thing. Get a bunch of women together, and they could talk and talk and talk and talk without anything ever getting accomplished and be okay with it. That's the perfect meeting for a woman. The perfect meeting for a man is probably no meeting. Here's what I want you to do. Go do it. And we can't really seem to understand the difference between men and women. And we drive each other nuts. I think dates would be just so much better if you don't try to understand women. That's really the secret. Like, the best dates I've ever had or experiences with women are when you're just there, you're present, you're in the moment, and you're connecting. Things are vibing, and you're not really thinking about much of anything. That's as probably as good as it gets. Now, here's where things go wrong is when you try to figure them out. You try and figure out what their words mean. Don't do that. Don't do it ever. It just drives them and you nuts. You want a crazy argument that goes on forever? Try to take their words as data. Yeah. I saw this happening earlier. There was a podcast conversation about the Bible, and it was about, Genesis, the beginning, Adam, Eve, and all that sort of stuff. And, they could have just opened the book up and read it. But instead, the guy is trying to tell the woman what to do, and the woman is saying, it's nuanced. It's nuanced. Everything is nuanced. It's contextual. It depends on what's going on. And with the man, it's just carved in stone, like the Ten Commandments, chiseled into stone. Boom, 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 boom. And, that's kind of where the disconnect lies. If you try to communicate with them the way you understand things, it's just a bad situation. You're just going to end up yelling at each other, screaming, and there's no peace in that. Learn how to appreciate them, connect with them on more of an emotional plane, and, you can have good experiences with them. But if you want women to be men, you're just going to suffer. There's no easy way to say it. You're just going to suffer and struggle. It's kind of like one of those things that you just kind of got to learn with age. They're not you, you're not them. You both kind of got to appreciate each other, try to learn a little bit about each other, and stay in your own lanes, and you can get along. And there doesn't need to be some big outcome. The outcome is, to be together. So that's kind of like what my thoughts are from an older man to the younger men. I just hope that this helps you out.